It is a proven statistic that 99% of people that attempt to wholesale quit before the first deal closes. Only 1 out of 100 are actually successful in this business, and nobody really talks about why. So this is a quick video going over 3 big myths that are spread amongst the wholesaling community so you can learn from this and be that 1% that actually closes deals. So let's just get straight into it. All right, so these are the biggest lies beginners are told about wholesaling. Like I said before, 99% of people quit before deal number 1. Nobody talks about why. And it is not because you are not motivated. It's not because the market is too competitive. This is 100% cope. It is because most people are taught the wrong process. This is the real reason. Most people are taught the wrong process for beginners. So in this video, I'm just going to expose the 3 biggest myths, which will all be revealed in due time. Most people are taught a backwards framework, and this results in wasted money, lost deals, and you guys just quit early, which is understandable. When you don't understand the process and you're being taught something that is losing you money and you have just lost deals over and over again, it is hard to stay disciplined. So myth number 1 is you need to spend a shit ton of money on leads to get started. This is not true. When you are a beginner and you pull huge lead lists, you buy expensive data, you run paid ads, you build the machine before even understanding how wholesaling works, you're going to spend hundreds, if not thousands, and bad marketing is literally just fucking burning your life savings. So what to do here is you want to master real deal mechanics before even starting. You want to understand what a wholesale deal is, how it works, what makes a deal profitable, and how to close with actual confidence, have a mentor on your side, and build a scalable marketing engine at that point. Once you understand all these things first, then you can go to start scaling. Myth number 2 here is there's one right way to wholesale. So all the gurus will say there's one formula, there's one script, there's one strategy, and nothing else works. Coming from someone who has tried so many different vessels of wholesaling and worked with so many different people that are in, paid ads, or people that really like SMS, or people that like having VA agencies, or people that like just doing on market, or people who have had a lot of success cold calling themselves, or people that have met with investors and done it all like through word of mouth. Like there are so many ways to do this, and gurus will just act like there's only one way and then try to just sell you on their program. I'm just explaining to you that there are so many different routes you can go on, and you just need to pick what sounds best for you. There is not one right way to wholesale. There are a few ways that are better for beginners for sure, but I just want you guys to realize that you can go on your own path, and don't let anyone tell you that there's only one right way. So this is kind of like a little guru formula, is just trying to get you to spend a bunch of money on a bunch of different methods and just praying that a deal will come. So, day 1, you're a beginner, you're right here, and you have kind of 2 different routes you can go. You can start spending money immediately and going super hard on a cold calling team, and that's like $2,500 a month, or you can do SMS blasts of $15 a month, or you can do Facebook and Google ads, that's $4K a month, and you're literally spending $5,000-$10,000 before you've even closed your first deal, which is probably just going to make you break even. And what I recommend for beginners, and have always seen the most results for my students, is I just tell them to take step 1. And so if you guys have some money and you want to invest in some SMS, or starting with like cheaper VAs or whatever it may be, that's fine. But if you want to do on market and try free methods, just take the first step. Take step 1. Learn in the field, so learn from actually failing, learn from getting deals under contract, or talking to agents, or talking to investors, and understanding how a wholesale deal actually works, what makes a good deal. And then from there, once you actually understand how it works, then build the machine. Like, do not get ahead of yourself. That is the worst possible thing you could do. People like to think that just going all the way to the end right at the beginning is the best decision, and that is how you burn out. That's what I want you to understand. If you can build the foundation at the beginning, it is way better than trying to just skip right to the end and spend a bunch of money and then eventually quit and fail. So at that point, once you finally understand it, then you can start to scale the biz. So your job as a beginner is not to build a huge marketing machine. It is to understand in depth how a deal actually works first. And as soon as you do that, the first deal will come eventually, and then you can start to build and scale the machine up. And myth number 3 here is find the deal first and then find the buyer. This is the biggest one by far. My whole page goes over secured wholesaling because that is what has worked for me and all my students the best by far, is just getting that buyer demand before even looking for a deal. And everyone teaches that you should always find the deal first, then find a buyer. And I made that exact mistake when I was starting out, and I lost 4 real deals because of this. And so the method that everyone teaches is you go find the deal first, whether that is off market, on market, you lock it up under contract in your name, your LLC, then you start to scramble, you go find a buyer, you have, 14 days in that inspection period, you can't find anyone, the window closes, and the deal is dead and gone. And this happens constantly too. This is the very, very classic wholesaling framework that people don't really talk about because they don't want to they don't want to talk about, the bad sides of the business. But it is pretty difficult to find a buyer for your deals when you're just starting and you don't know how to vet a good buyer. You don't really know how the whole process works yet. You're not super comfortable with assignment contracts or signing your own PSAs. It's pretty difficult to find someone in, a week that is willing to buy your property. And that's what results in the deal dying and you ultimately just giving up and getting stressed out. So this happened to me when I was starting. I was just like you a couple of years ago and wanted to get into real estate and not knowing exactly how. And I just started taking action, which is, the right thing to do. Just take unprepared action. But I had 4 real deals that died and were gone because of this. And this was, tens of thousands of dollars that I missed out on. And these 4 deals died over the span of like 8 months. It took me 8 months to close my first deal in wholesaling because I was always looking for the deal first, locking it up under contract, and then trying to find a buyer, not being able to find one. All four of these deals that died were ones where the numbers worked. They were actually all seller financing deals, meaning that it was a creative financing opportunity, which is super valuable, but I just didn't really know how to find a buyer well. And that's what killed all these deals. So I didn't have any buyers lined up, and then the deals fell out of contract and I got super discouraged. And I had the idea, okay, hold up. If all of my deals are dying because of I don't have the buyers locked in and the buyers are lined up, the numbers worked, it was seller financing, they were super good, but I just couldn't find someone to sell it to, why don't I just go find them first and then go find the deal? And it made so much sense to me. And that's why I preached this so hard, because I just had like that aha moment. And then from there, everything changed. So the buyer's first framework, the shift that changed everything, is here's kind of like a visual on the two differences. Is the old way here is you're going to find any deal on market or off market before finding the buyer. They're gonna say either it's too distressed, or there's not enough profit, or it's in the wrong area, the wrong type of home, or it could like already sell in the time that you're finding that buyer, or the deal is dead. Randomly hunting for deals and hoping someone wants them, you're just shooting in the dark. But if you do the buyer's first method and you get their price range, the property type, the location, condition, timeline, all those things, you just ignore everything else that's kind of outside of this circle. Then you have a smaller circle of properties to evaluate, and then you have an even smaller one, the matching deals, and you have exactly their buyer's criteria right in the middle. And this is how you know that the deal is going to get sold, because you already have that buyer demand. So once you already know the price range, the property type, the location, the condition, and everything, you're not guessing anymore. You're literally just working backwards from real buyer demand that's already locked in. So when you have a matching deal, you can even pre-sell it because of that buyer interest. And I absolutely love this part of the business. This is how I teach it to my students: is if you have a deal that matches your buyer's criteria perfectly, you don't even have to give them the address, you don't have to give them everything, but you can just give them photos, explain the numbers, the area, and say, I have this deal, do you want it? Like, are you in or are you out? And once they give confirmed buyer demand, then you can go lock it up under contract. This way, you are not even liable or locked into any contract before having this guaranteed buyer demand, which is so much better than you like getting something under contract in your own name and then having to back out of the contract once you realize that nobody wants it, So the deal first, I call it, the scramble. This is where, again, you lock the property up, you spend weeks hunting and scrambling, you can't find someone to assign it to, the contract becomes void, you go back to zero, and the deal just dies. So this is happening because you lock up the property, then you start looking for the buyer, you spend weeks, more contracts are just falling through, you can't find a buyer, deal just dies, you get discouraged, and you're back to zero. The buyer's first, the clean path, is you build the buyer's buy box, the buyer profile first, then you find the matching deals, you pre-sell it, and then from there, it is super simple to just sell the deal to these locked-in buyers. So this is because the buyer demand is already built. You find deals that match the buyer's criteria exactly. You pre-sell it, and because you already know that there's interest, and then you lock it up, no scramble, no guessing, and buyers first just cuts all this bullshit out. So who is real and who is wasting your time? So you want to run every conversation with your buyers through these filters. So now that we've talked about why it's so important to have a buyer, you're probably curious, okay, how do I find them and how do I figure out who is real? So that's exactly what this is. So this is kind of like your filter machine. Every buyer will go through these 4 gates. So it's like a new contact, however you found them, which I'll explain down here a bit. But you have a new contact, a new buyer that has potential. You found them in a Facebook, a Discord group. You want to make sure that they have money, or at least access to money. If they cannot verify that, they're obviously out of the picture. Move on to the next one. If you ask them if they've done deals before and they have no track record, they're out. If they can't show a proof of funds, which is just like a bank statement, they're out. And if they do not sound reputable and they just like kind of talk in circles or saying bullshit, they're obviously out as well. So how this would look more in depth is on the money and access to money side. Real would be they have funds available or a hard money lender lined up. They don't flinch at the price and they kind of just understand that this is an investment. They just seem like they actually understand that. And a fake buyer will be just like, I'll figure out financing and just vague about where the money comes from. That could even be another wholesaler, and you can get yourself into something that's called a daisy chain situation, which is something that you do not want to be in. This is like wholesaling a wholesaler's wholesale deal. And you want to make sure that they have done deals before. So real would be talking about the past properties, knows what a rehab cost looks like, has a crew, has a team, has inspectors they like to use. Fake would just be like, I'm just getting started, no reference point, ask too many basic questions. Proof of funds is sending a real proof of funds without hesitation. Fake statement or lender letter, they send that in quickly, no hesitation, not a big deal, looks legit. Fake would just be, of course, delays or I'll get that to you, or obviously never sends it, or just like send something super unverifiable. People do this. People will literally send you like some like weird crypto account or something and it has like no name or anything, and you're like, literally, what does this mean? Like this could be so 100% fake. I need this to be an actual bank statement. And again, speaks the language, just understands what you're saying, so they understand ARV, rehab budget, assignment fees, cash to close, days to close, and they just like use those naturally. Fake would be confused by the process and needs things explained. So fake buyers cannot verify any of that, and you want to filter out the bad buyers as fast as you can so you can get to the good buyers as quickly as possible. You want to run every single conversation through those 4 filters, and the ones who passed, you want to build those relationships like crazy. Those are your people, and that is honestly your money. So now that you understand this, if you are starting from zero, here's exactly how I would approach it. Step number 1, you want to build the buyer relationships. So we are looking for real investors, and I would recommend Facebook groups and Discord groups. These are how I have found a countless amount of buyers that have made me 6 figures plus through wholesaling real estate. They have literally been in Discord groups and Facebook groups, and I have just provided value and sold deals to them. We built our relationship, and then from there, we just continue to sell deals to the same, 5 or 10 locked in buyers. You want to get their exact criteria. So price range, property type, location, condition, timeline is also helpful to know as well. The more specifics are the better. And then from there, you just want to go out and you want to find the matching deals. So these could be off-market deals or on-market deals. And this way, you're not guessing, you're just matching the real confirmed buyer demand. This way, you do not have to get under contract with any deals that are not matching buyers. You don't have to worry about you sending earnest money. You don't have to worry about the inspection period running out. You can literally pre-sell deals, or at least know that you have locked in buyer demand before even taking the first step. So this is predictable wholesaling and just predictable cash flow. And I have, kind of just coined the term secured wholesaling. The other videos on my channel go over how to actually start doing on-market wholesaling. So that means like with agents and on Zillow, or also how to start doing off-market deals. So using VAs or SMS, but starting it in the right way and doing it with the secured wholesaling method as well. And if you're interested in talking to me more about this, there's a link on this video to book a call with me, and we could talk about potentially working together one-on-one. If this was helpful to you, just subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below any questions you have at all. I would love to just help you guys out. I'm going to read every single one of these. Just comment down below any questions that you have about this process or anything about wholesaling in general. Or if you don't really have questions, just tell me where you're at in the process. I'd love to meet more of you guys. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to find real deals on market right now without spending a shit ton of money on expensive lead lists. So subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss it. I'll see you on the other side.